Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Demystify Selling with Microsoft. And today it's just going to be me one more time. And I wanted to share with you my experience from the Ultimate Partner event that I went to last week in Dallas, put on by Vince and John Menzione. It was a fantastic event with a stellar lineup of guest speakers from Microsoft. Even had a guest speaker from Cisco, which was a super interesting talk from Cisco about the Microsoft ecosystem. We heard from some of my favorite folks, including Carson Heedy, and just a number of great speakers. But I wanted to take a minute and talk about some of the takeaways that I had personally from the event. You know, there was a number of great quotes, a number of great insights from different partners, from Microsoft, from Vince as well. So I just thought I would just share with you some of that. One of the big areas that I took away from this conference was how important marketplace is going to be. How important it is as partners that we invest in our marketplace strategy. And what we would traditionally think of as a platform for ISVs and digital natives is really starting to change. Microsoft is absolutely doubling down on additional services like systems integrators being able to share and transact on professional services, which is really a new realm for the SI community. But it really shows Microsoft's commitment to the platform. Additionally, the concept of multi-party offers is something that I think more and more we're going to see a bigger motion where an ISV is no longer just bringing the software to the table, but they're bringing the software, they're bringing the necessary services. There could be training partners involved. There can be a number of different components coming together into a single offer where it can be listed on the marketplace, be transactable on the marketplace, and Microsoft facilitates that transaction for the customer. And there's so many benefits for us as partners to get involved in this motion. And, you know, from a customer's perspective, if they're transacting via the marketplace, it allows them to decrement any commitments they have to Microsoft. So it's not only a win for the customer in terms of solving their business problem, but if they have signed up for a commit with Microsoft, it can be applied towards that commit. So there's just a number of benefits to looking at marketplace, to really investing in marketplace, understanding how it fits in your strategy as a partner, whether you are a traditional ISV or digital native, or if you're a services partner, or what we refer to as an SI, systems integrator. What can you do to leverage marketplace to, one, expand your potential reach, to reach those customers that you may not normally have been able to touch with a traditional sales force or your traditional marketing? The reach that Microsoft has really exponentially increases your ability to transact business with customers all around the planet. Um, Additionally, as I alluded to earlier, if you're transacting through the marketplace, you have the ability to leverage helping customers meet their commitment levels. You also have additional incentives for the Microsoft field to work with you when they're helping you move your offer in front of more customers and transacting those offers with those customers. They receive benefits as a Microsoft employee by doing that. So there's just so many different reasons to invest in your strategy around marketplace, to spend time really understanding what it means for you, building a strategy, a go-to-market motion for your business, for your ISV or your offer. So I would encourage you to look into that. Uh, Next, I'd like to talk about the MSEM. So this was a presentation put on by Elliot Dunlap from Microsoft, or it was part of one of his presentations in understanding M7, and that is Microsoft's customer engagement model, and understanding what this means to Microsoft. We think about it's a customer journey, and we're like, oh, well, we already have our customer journey. We have our CRM set up in a certain way. Well, that's fine, and Microsoft is not asking you to change that. But Elliot's message was understand MSEM so that you can understand where the Microsoft salesperson is coming from in terms of taking that customer on a journey. Additionally, the incentives that Microsoft has align to that MSEM journey. So if the Microsoft seller says we're in the listen and consult phase, there's going to be a very different set of incentives available to you as a partner versus if they're in the optimize phase. And so I really would encourage you as a partner to understand what it means to dig deep into the MSEM model, what it means for Microsoft sellers to follow that customer journey. And even if your CRM and your sales process doesn't align step for step with it, understand where you map to that MSEM journey. It will really be important. And one of the other callouts I'd like to make from Elliot is in his presentation, he said, keep the main thing the main thing. And I love that because what it says and what the message I believe he was trying to communicate was know what you're amazing at, know what your superpower is, keep that the main thing, be that to someone. Don't try and be everything to everyone, be the one thing to that one person that it makes sense for. So I want to give Elliot a shout out here on the podcast because he just dropped nugget after nugget after nugget. So I do believe this is available on YouTube. I don't if you're not part of the Ultimate Partner community, you might not be able to access it. But if you are, you can definitely access it. And if you are not, I would reach out to Vince. I'll give him a shout out in the comments here. But definitely look at joining this because just that one presentation alone from Elliot was amazing. Happened that he was on stage with Carson Heedy. So Carson dropped a ton of nuggets in terms of how to sell with Microsoft. He talked about investing in LinkedIn. He shared stories from his own sales journey on how he leveraged LinkedIn to make sales. And I talk about this as well, is that you can leverage LinkedIn to expand your reach in Microsoft. So that presentation on its own was a huge value add. There was also a presentation, changing gears a little bit, is a presentation from Crayon, and I apologize, I forget who gave the presentation, but I'll drop it in the notes. But she talked about the shift that we're seeing in the enterprise agreements moving towards CSP agreements. So that was another big shift that we're going to see as partners, or we are seeing as partners, is that no longer is Microsoft out there trying to close these big EAs or even small EAs. No longer is Microsoft incented differently to make these enterprise agreements the go forward model. CSP is really the go forward approach. And I thought Cran did the Cran presentation, which was at the pretty close to the end of the day on day 2. She did an amazing job of helping decipher what that means for partners. So I would encourage you to go and listen to that presentation, and I'll reach out and I will find out who did the presentation and see if we can't get them to join us on this podcast and share with us more about that. So with that, those are a few nuggets that I took away from the Ultimate Partner event from last week. I would encourage you to reach out to Vince and his team if you're not part of the Ultimate Partner community. My message to you and is to go and reach out to them, learn more about it, join it, because he has regularly held conferences like this. He noted during last week that he'll be holding more conferences next year, and this is such a great way to get in front of the right people inside of Microsoft, inside of the Microsoft ecosystem. So not a paid advertisement for Vince, but a huge ringing endorsement for Vince and his team because they did a great job. There was so much great information. I encourage you to reach out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, and I'll either answer them for you as best I can or get you in touch with the right people that might be able to help you out. With that, have a great day, and I believe next week we'll be joined by a special guest from Microsoft. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll get back onto our regular cadence of interviewing some fantastic, super interesting people